Love me those Crusader grinds. Hello, everybody. David Stanley, part-time comedian, and I identify as an Apache helicopter. This is sponsored today by this guy. Don't know where he's at. I'm looking for him. If you see him, let him know. We need him back in the war. Also being said, we're sponsored by Everything Credit today. Truly a man I call my brother, David Payne Jr., out there in Georgia. Not afraid to hide it. Not afraid to say it where he's at. Not afraid to say that he helped me out majorly. And by unpopular demand, we came out of No Shave November. I carried it in December. That's why most of us look like a convicted killer or murderer, as our friend likes to put it in Vietnam. It's California today. It's sunny. It's nice. So I want to get into it. For you who follow me, I appreciate it. For those that have taken the time to actually look at what I say, challenge what I say, and have healthy, civil, and what I would say basically civil discourse of information against you, it's fine. I can always prove it with fact. I can always back it up. It's not a problem. I can direct messages anyways to make more friends this way, especially people that guy in Vietnam has sent our way to try to destroy us have become our friends and not his anymore because they find out truth. That being said, I'm going to take a little bit of history, and if you can bear with me, these videos I know go over 30 minutes. I'm not trying to aim there at all, okay? I'm really not. I want to keep it under the 30-minute mark if I can. If I go over that, I apologize, but I'm telling you, if you listen to the very, 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 very end, I have two options for you. If you have actually been a client of Mikey Randos and his new company, and you've been a client of Pinnacle Credit, I have two big things for you that you want to hear. So, that being said, how did this all start? This beef between Everything Credit and over Pinnacle Credit. Well, you have Andre Rose, Andre Ross Nguyen, Andrew Nguyen, Andrew Rose, whatever alias he's using of the week. He also seems to be very confused about where he's at. He likes to put out posts that he was in New York, and he put out posts that he was traveling over here. We've debunked all that bullshit by now. I mean, gloves off, here we are, talking man to man in truth, right? Well, man to little boys in truth. He lives a fantasy land like Peter Pan. He puts old content up, claiming it's new content. He copies content off of several other scam artists and poses it as a new effective information of how to help bid and win your credit. Now, he also claims he has this high IQ, which is unbelievable to me because if I look at the language of God, Jesus Christ, my Savior, hello, Mrs. Payne, Mama Payne, keep that swear jar open. I want to say this. The Lord of our language of God, Jesus Christ, God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit is Aramaic, not Aramic. You like to say it's Aramic. You have tons and tons of grammatical errors on your website at Pinnacle. I don't understand how you try to pull and pose what you do, but the more you post things, I see it. Now, here's one for you. My brother, my kid brother, not my baby brother, has actually been at Google for over 15 years now. 15 years. Works in the Human Resources Department. That's called the Team Association Department. Now, I've been there to visit him, and particularly not too long ago, Andre decided to post up, I think it was in his community post, that he worked for Google. Now, if you worked for Google and you were a team member, okay, would you show that desk, the office, and people you worked with, or would you just show it in an area where they hold people in and they take people on through tours of the Google campus and use them for job interviews? Because that's the only picture you post. There's no record of Andre whatsoever under all three aliases that he uses at Google in California. None. Now, not saying he didn't have an internship, but I highly doubt it. And if he did, they would have given him an internship badge or some price he didn't post out on all his stuff from the past because he likes to brag, right? Very braggadocious punk. Also, motorcycles. You see the cars. He likes to advertise like most scam artists do about what they can buy and how they can do things with helping their credit out and what they can do to get up for you also so you can spend more money and put yourself in more debt and ask for help from these morons. So, very simply made, he took pictures in a garage in Ho Chi Minh City, where he lives, in a tower, pretty big fucking tower, okay? Pays rent probably $700 a month, maybe at the time, when he had the money rolling in. He could live a very luxurious life and shop at Winmart and then gondolas off the street. Now, for those that know history very well, I'm not going to go ahead and play in a bubble bath and tell you how great it is and brag about it with a stogie in my mouth or a stogie in my hands, claiming it's from Cuba and claiming it's Cohiba, when it's not, considering the fact that there's been a sanction on Cuba for over 40 years. Cubans aren't the easiest thing to get, and I doubt very seriously in the community of Vietnam where you can live off of food and rent for less than $1,000 a month that you would go and spend that money or it's a commodity someone so bad on a gondola in Ho Chi Minh City Plaza. Very unlikely. But again, let's let the scam go on. So, that being said, Andre has decided to take out personal griefs against me and David Payne Jr. by morphing pictures, distorting what we say, how we say it. He liked to dox also the fact that David lives in Georgia and does credit repair out of Georgia. We'll come back to that. Going back, and the other thing with him, he also claims he had connections to attorneys and lawyers' offices that he worked in. Don't talk about the law, and I'm going to tell you why. Jason Fagley, who you decided to try to get on your bandwagon to try to destroy us and take us down and go ahead and basically communally or socially destroy us, as you put it, badmouth us to the public, defamate our characters and character assassination, you tried to get him on your bandwagon. Jason Fagley definitely has a higher IQ than you because he decided to do his own homework and realize that we weren't the ones scamming anybody. We weren't the ones playing the games and pulling strings on people. And we definitely weren't the ones illegally recording people in a two-party consent state of California when Georgia's a one-party consent state. And why do I mention that, people? Because he claims he knows the law. Georgia is a one-party consent state. So going back to the fact that when Andre contacted David and David recorded the phone call, because he wanted to make sure the guy was going to do the steps he said he was going to do to stop this little bickering, mudslinging war factor between two companies, David recorded it for proof. Now, you went back and said, Andre, that that's illegal. You can't do that. It's a two-party consent. It's not. Not in Georgia, dipshit. Now, in California, where you recorded Jason Fagley, and has it been for a very long time, I think it was 1968 on the Supreme Court, the Ninth Appellate Court Circuit, stated that it is a two-party consent state. And why is that? Because you have to have the consent from both parties if one's going to diminish what someone else is saying or prove a fact of what would be a verbal contract, which doesn't exist either. But this is the law. This is something way the fuck above your head. So again, you with your high IQ, whether you know it or not, by recording Jason Fagley, you broke the law, Andre. Not surprised by this at all either, because you've broken the law several ways. What do you do from that? This is how it starts. We went after Mike Sean Rando. And why did we do that? Because the credit game was the largest scam known to man under the fact of Grant Cardone slapping his lips trying to promise the world. And we know how that went for him because he just got done paying out millions of dollars to investors by the FBI who was investigating him for his real estate scam. So, how does this happen? These same morons follow him, such as Mike Rando. Now, Mike, I'd have to say, is a little more professional to the degree than what Andre's been, where Andre does the whole morphing, talking about stuff, claiming gay things. It's just, to me, it's like being in a high school fight, which is something that Andre didn't finish either. So let me get into this. We have spent quite a bit of money, but not too much. We've spent quite a bit of time, more than we wanted to, in tracking what Andre is, who he's about. Now, I won't get into details of that because we need that at a later date for something we're going to plan on doing. And what I mean by that in a civil matter and a criminal matter. Being said, who he is that he decides to comment on my channel. That when we took down Mike Rando, his response was, whoa, no way. So I respond back, yes, absolutely, go back to my first video. It took me a little bit of time to figure this out. At the time, we had clients coming into our firm trying to make complaints on being defrauded, and they were seniors because we were looking at elderly abuse charges, so we could do it civilly. When it came down to it, we're investigating, we're looking into them, we go, holy shit, this guy who commented on my fun social media page of YouTube is the Andre Rose we're looking for. Go figure. Now, I sent him a direct email trying to figure out how we can make the amends on this and what we can do to try to work out to bring him into the fold of credit repair. I thought somehow, some way, this guy and him would be able to work it out and figure out a way to get a restitution plan going for his clients, all 53 of them. This goes back to the first company that Andre had that he dissolved that was actually located in San Jose, California. Now, he basically took people's money, and what I think and speculate, assuming, and it's probably not good to assume I know this is a theory of an ass out of you, an ass out of me, but let's just face it, Andre's the biggest ass of them all. I think he was experimenting with the money at the time of how to do credit repair with the bots and then figured out a cheaper way to do it. And when he figured out he couldn't get the results he wanted and people were getting pissed, he said one of these things to them and ran out the door. Now, he ran out the door not too far. He didn't go very far at all. In fact, he ran up into San Francisco and he hid on the side of a hill growing a patchy-ass beard, living outside of a tent and trying to find Allah. So the things that he's done and hasn't done, he knows he's exposed when we talked to Jason Fagley. That was the time he was hanging with Jason and recorded Jason when Jason had a very tough time and decided to take advantage of his friend and record him so he had on record so he could use it for a later date for blackmail. Blackmail. It's another crime on top of recording him. Think about that one. Of course, I know you won't because you're an idiot, Andre. So, that being said, 2 crimes committed, going to San Francisco, and now he's running from people that he owes money to back because he has a bullshit return policy that falls with his first company. Dissolves that. Goes to New York. Hangs out there for a while. Rubs elbows with people he thinks he should know and get to know. sucks in information like a sponge, right? With all his Google influence, right? He learns about the whole things of how internet works, SEOs, SOIs. He decides, okay, I went from an LLC, maybe I should go to an S Corp. Go figure, we know what you're doing, Andre. So then you decide from there, hey, I can do tax refs, evasions, what I want to do. It doesn't matter because realistically getting around the tax bracket, if you really know who you are and what you're doing with any business, there's so many businesses out of Las Vegas that are tax-free, indemnified, and Florida. That's why the two are like the Wild West when it comes to returning people's money, because they know they can get around the loopholes, unless you have good lawyers and good people that can get around those crooks at figuring out how those work inside the contracts. The contract is huge. Now, you may not realize this, but there's something called mail fraud and wire fraud, and how that's involved I get into at a later date in a later video because it'll take too much time to explain that one. What he does from there is, when he's pissing more people off and he knows during COVID things are happening, he makes a run for it. Where can I live better? Where can I make my money go as far as I need to? I might have a dual citizenship. If I don't have a direct citizenship, I'll run to Vietnam. But he still alludes from Vietnam that he has an office on 5th Avenue and living it in New York at the same time, posting pictures he hadn't posted before on social media. Now, if you don't believe me, go look, because they're all over Instagram. In fact, there's a hate page controlled by somebody that cannot stand him. Mind you, your haters, as you call them, actually truth finders, have posted those pictures he had in New York at the same time he was in Vietnam. The Seeker proved that he was in Vietnam, and it was exposed on this guy's channel, David Payne, over everything credit. So, you ask how this got ugly? It got ugly. When Andre realized that he was losing customers and David was taking on some of those customers, when Andre realized that his business partner did an interview with us, his former business partner, who he threatened in every which way, up and down left side, threatening to call his wife and tell his wife about bullshit affairs and things like that, claiming his dad was on a jet, whatever it may be, that he owned a jet, it's a joke. If you look online, you want to live somewhat of a taste of the luxurious life, you can go become a boat rental companies, you can go into airplane rental companies, and you can look at these things, you become a member, and you pay a monthly fee as a club to fly on these planes and drive these boats. Mikey did the same thing in fucking Florida, and I proved that also. Got him booted off that club. He's not even part of it anymore. My thing being is that Andre has such a way of where he thinks that he's spending so much effort in trying to pull off what is the, I live a valuable life, I have all these things, look at me and what I can do for you. But when you don't like the results, he's flipping you off, he's telling you you're an idiot, he's using foul language, he's using racial disparities, he's going up and down the ladder nonstop like you're dealing with someone who just came off of meth, which we all know that Andre's done that before too. In fact, looking at your most recent videos, buddy, you're not looking so kind of fit. And by the way, the thinning hair thing, anybody who knows testosterone, I've been on it, I've talked about this. You tend to lose hair. I'm not losing hair. I have all my hair, folks. I don't have a receding hairline. I have all my hair. Look. So they think the thing is kind of where I look at Andre. He's wearing headbands. He's doing all these things. He's very soy boy. And what I mean by that is the soy boys usually refer to women as we say they act like women. Well, what do women do when you make a comment? Oh, I love your eyes. Their eyelashes got longer the next day. What's that perfume you're wearing? Oh, they're doused with it the next day. Oh, that's a very nice dress, but it doesn't really make your eyes pop out. You'll never see that dress again. Andre started putting on headbands and covering his receding hairline, the hair that's going away that he picked on Dave for so much for. Dave's bald and beautiful. He's happy with it. The guy I call my brother, very happy with it. His beard, it's a grizzly beard. Why? Because he lives in a grizzly area. That's what he does. I've been commenting on it. I shaved my beard because when I was in court last week, I was told by the judge I might want to shape it up a little bit. Fine by me. I'll take the advice. Now, and I wasn't in court because of my behalf. I was in court for another reason. So, again, ranting, raving aside, let's get down to the facts. Here it goes. The biggest crook of all, right? Who says David Payne's doing illegal credit repair in Georgia and then got one in Texas. And then, no, dumbass. It was fucking Tennessee is where it went through. Because we'll just be open and honest. Now, did he go from LLC to S Corp? Who wouldn't? You learn as you go, right? I mean, you did, but you fucked people over to do it. Dave didn't do that. Dave learned from it and paid back his respects to it. Now, Dave is going to choke me for this, folks. And when you're listening and watching this video right now, I want you to understand, if you live in the state of Georgia, okay, and you are not currently one of his clients, you're a client going forward, contact Dave, explain your situation, and guess what? David will do your credit repair for free, because that's one thing that is actually legal. You can do credit repair for free. Andre always got that twisted. Now, something kind of funny about this, if we can here, I'm going to show you, it should pop up here any second, and just listen to what I'm walking you through. Those will be letters of verification that Andre did credit repair for actual clients that were residents in the state of Georgia. Bingo. Is that not a problem? It's not just 1, 2, 3, or 4. It is a handful and several. So let me ask this. I wonder if the Attorney General knows about that. I wonder if the Attorney General knows that Pinnacle Credit did credit repair for clients in the state of Georgia, which is absolutely illegal. He's absolutely right. But here's a news flash, everybody. The NFCB, if you go down to the Federal Credit Bureau, they make it almost impossible for anybody to do credit repair. It's almost like they're in bed with the credit agencies, right? You got people like Lexington Law, which I'm not going to talk shit on. Lexington Law gets it done. Andre likes to talk shit on them. They get it done, but they do get it at a much slower rate. And the way they do it is because they want to make the long-term money. They're in for business. They are a company. They're an incorporation. They're not an S-corp. They're an incorporation. They got a real CEO, not an Andre-type CEO who plays CEO of one, okay? And calls bots his employees and calls contacts his employees because he doesn't have employees. He has himself. That being said, look at these photos. Check this out. These are from his own website. Letters from people who live in Georgia, folks. Take a look at them. In fact, we'll probably have links to them in the bio. Now, here's the next one for you. When you do something like that, if you try to do credit repair, what becomes the charge? It all goes back to your contract. Is the contract fair? Is it legitimate? Is it in the best interest of the consumer? Does it have a return policy? Does it have a guarantee policy? The one thing I can actually say is Andre swears that he'll get you results. He'll get you results faster than anybody else. In fact, his stuff is mind-blowing past all his grammatical errors, his crazy IQ, and supposedly he was a lawyer, attorney, or worked for an attorney, which is bullshit too. Again, it's impossible. There's no code to crack here. The code is impossible to crack. It's simple as that. You'll never be able to crack it. We don't know why certain people get better credit ratings than others based off the fact of credit history, credit knowledge, revolving accounts, whatever you want to call it. It is a mind-boggling mathematician's job to figure out, and they still get stumped. Some get it good, some get it bad. It's all based off of code. Why is that? I couldn't even tell you. I don't even know. But the good people like Dave, unlike Andre, will secure your information. He won't sell it to bots. He keeps it between him and a circle of attorneys. And what he does is he uses their own laws of their own state, along with the FCB laws to protect the consumer, to go ahead and challenge them, yes, by mail, and also challenge them by email. He does both. And why is that good? It's because they have to open the mail. And when they do that, they've accepted reliability of saying, oh, yes, this is us. We've made the claim that this client that has or has not paid this. It is another challenge beyond that. Then the lawyers get into it. That's why Dave has it so much better down, has actually made a situation that is bad into even better than what Andre could even produce with his bullshit bots and his India crew and his call centers that he pays for. He pays for everything. If I paid for Google to say, hey, Raiders is the best team, which they are, in the league, I could get that at top of Google every time you type in football, pigskin, badass, black, silver, whatever I wanted to do. It'd put you at the top. Andre made his investments, or he's taken money from people that have invested in him to invest in that. The other thing with fruition, think about this. Where's the shark that was going to make the investment with Andre? That's bullshit. Never happened. Where's the next interview with the people he's talked to before that backed him, supported him, and talked about how great the credit is? That's never happened. Everything he's tried to claim that he would show, like 8cat, has never happened. His reviews are bought usually. I look at the comment section. You can see by looking in the SEOs that all of a sudden overnight he's hitting 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 by old posts. That's complete bullshit. That's how you have fake subscribers. Okay? I will put up Dave Payne Jr.'s page over at Everything Credit versus Andre's, and let's check out the difference. Let's check out the difference. That being said, I would have to think too that Andre pays for everything. He doesn't do it himself. David goes from morning to night. In fact, I just talked to him yesterday. We were laughing about something else, talking about politics and everything. We don't just talk. Andre's not the top of our conversation. It's just not. It's more like the butt end of it. We talk about life, politics, things going on. We laugh at other scammers because we're working like 10, 15 scammers at a time to take down. Andre seems to be the bigger one because when someone's that far away in Vietnam, there's not much you can do, but that's going to change pretty soon. So that being said, here we are. What are the facts of this? The facts are people are going to David from Andre. Now, Andre had one guy. His name was David, ironically. David, to the power of 3, contacted Andre because he didn't like some result that was happening. The funny thing was this same meat popsicle stick got a bankruptcy taken off by David, but he fails to mention that. So did Andre in his video. Now, Andre's talking to this guy, and I bet this guy really knew how Andre felt about African-American, Black American people. He'd be pretty pissed off to, like, no level, right? So I had to think about this one. Excuse the noise in the background. I can't fix that. The reality is that Andre is the biggest racist of all. Now, he'll be willing to take anyone's money because it's green, right? It's absolutely green. It's wired to him. He does it illegally. If you like the Venmo practice, the PayPal practice, you're not supposed to do that. It's illegal to pay somebody to do credit repair through those systems. It is illegal. Absolutely illegal. So, he's overseas, can't be touched, right? But he's taking money from me. He finds one guy that's disgruntled from Dave out of all his clients, but yet we found business partners, clients, and friends that have come forward to speak out against Andre and his scams. We can't be any more clear than we have been. I can't even tell you, okay? You're like, come on, Dave, get to the point. Here's my point. I heard the recording. It was not AI generated. It was absolutely Andre. And Andre knows this. If you're watching this video, I know you fucking know this. You called him up in the moment you found out that he was talking to us. And what you did was you threatened him and his family by saying the word of centuries. I've dispatched centuries. Are you fucking stupid? Who uses that kind of language? Are you reading a Choose Your Own Adventure book? Basically, same layman's terms, you sent hitmen. You sent thugs to go cause him bodily harm because you were fearful of what he was going to say to us or what he was going to tell us about you. In fact, your reaction was, I'm not going to threaten him. I'm going to disparage him by showing a video where I broke the law recording him. That was foolish too. So on your own channel, we have that. We've saved it. Don't try to erase it. If you want, it's your choice. We got you anyways. The second part is that you have him for the threat. Now, people will say, Dave, it's fucking California. Who gives a shit, right? Actually, it is a terrorist threat. And I'll explain why, people. I'll break it down for you. Domestically, I'm going to kick your ass. That doesn't really mean a whole lot of shit. Cops don't even want to prosecute on that. In fact, cops get out of a lot of paperwork. I know this for a fact from experience. Cops get out of a lot of paperwork by having people, when they have what's called mutual combat, engage in fighting. When they get there, this person wants to arrest that person. You know, he hit me first. Well, I hit him second. I defended myself. They arrest both parties. And how they get out of it, what they say is, do you want to press charges? And when no one wants to press charges, they both get released to go their own ways, right? The difference is, though, when you say, I'm going to dispatch centuries to your location, I have your address, I know where you're at, and you do it internationally, it is now actually a terrorist threat, punishable for 2 to 7 years. I could be in the UK, living as a resident over there, even an American citizen as a resident. I could call up one of my buddies and say, I'm going to fuck you up, and he could be pissed at me, contact the authorities, and what will happen is that district attorney will kick it up to the attorney general. The attorney general doesn't want to deal with it because now it's an international terrorist threat. He hands it to the FBI. Andre, we got you on record recording him. We also got you with your threat. All what I need is Jason to file. And guess what? You will be investigated by the FBI. And how do I know this? I've been to the Ronald Reagan building. I've talked to them. They're willing to take on the case. Should have thought about that one, genius, when you got pissed off and reacted in such a childish way. Here's the other one for you, folks. If this were to happen in a sense, and Andre's people start coming out, here's the two options you have. I'm going to give you first Andre on a platter, and I'm going to give you Mike's head on a stick, so to speak. Let's start with Andre first. If you contact me, down where it says to contact to my email, and we set up a phone call, and I can verify you have an actual contract from Andre, or I've had a contract from Andre from any of his businesses that he's ran under credit repair, and I can verify your story and verify who you are, we will take on your case to file civil charges against Andre and determine if criminal charges were implicated. And if they are, we will file those or help you and devote you where you can file those for you. We'll point you in the right direction. By all means, let those emails roll in. Second part to it. With Andre, I have to say also, he's talking about real estate. And what does that lead me into? That leads me into Mike Sean Rando, this walking piece of excrement, right? Felon who had a gun when his office was raided, okay? Let me think about this one. Mike comes back and says, oh, Grant Cardone, Daddy Cardone, what do I do? All my scams are run out. Am I going to end up at McDonald's? What does Grant tell him? Oh, you know what's really big right now is arbitrage. You got to do arbitrage, man. The fast-talking Southern swindler talks him into arbitrage. Folks, here, it's very simple. And for Andre, because I know I need to break it down for you to like the 1th power, arbitrage means subcontractor, folks. Subcontractor. It's like, I don't want to mow my lawn, I hire a contractor to mow my lawn, which is landscapers, right? I don't want to paint my house, I have subcontractors come in and paint my house. I don't want to put in the sliding door behind me that's so amazing. I'm going to have some guy from Home Depot that gets a contractor to come out. That's subcontracting. So, folks, if you have any properties out there and you're doing Airbnb and you're looking for Airbnb or arbitrage because you don't want to deal with it, okay, contact me. I can give you tips and tricks because my other brother, the baby brother's in real estate, and he has had one of the most successful, highly successful management property companies on the West Coast, but he covers everything from East Coast to West Coast. Both seaboards covered completely, okay? If you have a property and you do an Airbnb and you want to contact somebody, don't contact these two hacks. Don't contact these two failures of life, because that's what Mike Rando is. Mike Rando started, his first thing, I think it was back in the day, was like selling and stealing people's IDs and selling steroids and cocaine. Gets caught, gets busted for that. Like fraud. They got him for fraud because he had these other IDs on him, aliases. Then he goes into another company where he's selling you like basically credit files and credit history, right? He's giving you a wired account. You go to my boy, the General, Credit Crusader. He'll explain very well on CPNs how they work and whatnot. Mike Rando was part of that, and he was selling these particular things. I think it was like Western wires or something like that. I'm not sure exactly. I looked into it a while back. But when that failed and he couldn't provide for his customers, they were physically threatening him to come kill him. That's how bad it got. So what does he do from there? He decides that he's going to go into the credit game. But then he ones up it because the credit game needed a reputable company to back him up. You know what it was? It was Elite Deletions, right? Elite Deletions was Mike Rando. Elite Deletions was in, guess what? Georgia. The one state that's trying to keep everybody honest. The one state that's trying to keep clarity between the consumer and the provider that's actually producing the good, right? So if I break it down, this wholesaler right here in the most honest state, right, starts credit repair, not knowing the ins and outs or whatever it may be, right? Because they say ignorance of the law, whatever you want to call it. But if you don't know until you read, right? Fair enough. So he decides when he's doing, oh shit, I shouldn't be doing that. Dave says, I'm going to do it for free. I'm going to help people out. Has Andrew ever done that? No. He's freely taking people's money and said, fuck you when you don't like the amount coming back out of it or you don't like what you're getting out of it. Go somewhere else, pound sand, come get me because I'm in Vietnam, can't touch me, right? That's unbelievable to me. Should be unbelievable to you too. So Mike Rando says, I got to have a reputable company to back me up. So he creates Elite Deletions out of Georgia. It's a fucking P.O. box, just like Andre's office in New York City. It's basically anywhere you can forward your mail through to wherever you need to get the mail to another P.O. box, to somebody else that sends your money and your mail to you because you don't want to get caught. The most dishonest shit I'll ever say. It's funny because my guy's been doxxed by Andre showing where he lives and how he lives. It's not a fucking trailer. Look at the base mount of the house of where it's stabilized at. That shed that you keep showing a picture of is a shed for storage or a shed to make an office. Andre, you're fucking twit, like a cube for all I know for what IQ you don't really have. You talk as if you know things and you don't. You claim you build motorcycles. That's a full of shit story. I mean, you were in a shop that wasn't even yours. It was another person's shop that sells motorcycles there in Vietnam. And you take a picture of all my bikes. You're an idiot. At most, you probably had the Harley Davidson from Eagle Motor Credit. When you had some money, you shipped it over and you told Eagle Motor Credit, fuck yourself, I'm not going to pay it. It's funny to me you've never shown your own credit. You've never shown what your score is. Mike Rando did, but we've disproved that too. He tried to show us a 700, 800. We caught him. Actually, it wasn't us that caught him. It was Credit Crusader, and it was the Seeker that caught him. The Seeker, he exposed the shit out of him. I tell you, Seeker is someone else to watch, folks, because he literally is like the balance of good and evil in the universe of credit. And the reason why I say it is he's actually had smooth talking advice to Andre directly in videos of why he shouldn't do what he's doing and explain to him where he got caught, and Andre continues to do it and entertain us with his bullshit. So imagine this. Is Andre a felon right now? I'll let you decide, because I already know the answer to that. Is Andre could be an international person of interest? Absolutely. Jason Fagley, if you're watching this, go do it, dude. Go file your paperwork, man. This guy harassed you, tried to take your company down. He left disparaging comments about you on your Google Yelp accounts, fake Yelps. Dave just showed this yesterday. I think, on my page. If you guys look at it, right, and we upload this, it shows all the calls from Andre, and you can clearly tell that's Andre's voice in the background. I called 17 times. Dude, go smoke another bowl. Seriously. You are a waste. You're done. You're literally done. You can't come back here. You won't come back here. You challenge everything that you can, and you know nobody can hurt you. But one day, your time is going to run out, just like Mike said. I can tell you now. Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. Okay? So you have the two offers, folks. If you hear what I'm telling you, if you're a former client of Andre's and he did you dirty, contact me. Okay? If you're considering any kind of Airbnb arbitrage, don't go to him, and definitely don't go to Mike Randover, that basically Investor Michael or whatever his Investor Mikey. Don't go to that clown. Okay? Contact me. I'll forward you to my brother. He's local within California, but he has offices all over. He has offices in the South. He's got offices in the East. He's been successful for over 10 plus years. I think he's 12 years now in the making, and he's doing great. Owns multiple properties, multiple houses, East Coast, West Coast, even owns some properties overseas. Contact us. We'll give you the discount where it's at. And if you need credit repair in any way, such form, please, 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 by all means, you can do the homework. And if you don't pick him, just don't go to Andre. But check out everything credit. Check out my boy Davey. Okay? Seriously. Go over to David Allen Payne Jr. because he's my brother. I'm not afraid to call him brother. And Mama Payne, I hope I didn't swell and fill up that swear jar too high, because if I did, I'm paying for me to go to Disney. That I already know. To everybody out there, I love you guys. I respect you guys. Thank you for your time today. Take what I said seriously, and then check out those pictures that he put on his website of the credit repair in Georgia that he did. Very interesting, right? I think it's amazing how much he makes himself an easy target. All right, to all of you, God bless. Take care. And from the littlest one of all, go ahead and suck on it, mother truckers.